Karen from toworkwithmyhands.com, DIY for the time crunch creative, and today I'm really excited to be joining Hometalk Live to show you how to make these repurposed Tuscan oil bottles. Now these started out as just basic oil bottles that had grapeseed oil in them, and I have repurposed them with some paint and crackling medium to make them into a Tuscan decor. Today I'm going to show you how to make this, and I'm also going to show you two other versions. So we're going to get started. First we start with just a plain bottle. And this is a wine bottle that someone gave me. You can use any kind of bottle. These had grapeseed oil in them, but this is a wine bottle. It'll work just the same. So we're going to start with some chalk finish paint, white chalk paint. We want to get a good base coat on there. While I'm getting started, I'd love for you to comment and tell me where you are tuning in from. We are here in Southeast Alabama. It's lovely here today. Tell me where you are viewing from and what your weather is like. Also, I want to remind you that we will be doing a giveaway today. Hometalk will be giving away one of their tote bags, and the way you can enter to win that is to answer a question today. What have you repurposed bottles into? So start thinking about that so that you can leave a comment for your chance to win.
Some people from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Kate Hodar from Pittsburgh, and
thanks for tuning in from Pittsburgh.
Sandra from Northampton, New Hampshire.
Thank you, everybody. Glad to have y'all with us this afternoon.
People from Newark, New Jersey, Ontario.
Yeah, a lot of people up on the East Coast here, huh?
Florida, UK. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Now I'm just giving this a good base coat. This bottle that I'm using is frosted. So a single coat will work, but the grapeseed oil bottles had a brown. They were kind of tinted brown. So I ended up having to use 2 or 3 coats to get a good coverage, but I just want to go ahead and do this and show you what this is going to look like.
Oh,
now,
somebody from South America.
South America, wow, thank you.
New Orleans.
Glad you're joining us today. What's the weather like where everyone is? We were really warm a few days ago, like up in the 80s. We cooled off a little bit, but I think we're supposed to hit around 90 Saturday.
Someone just tuned in. They want to know what you're using the bottles for.
No,
what you're using on the bottle. Excuse me.
This is white chalk paint. This is just our base coat. This is what will show through when we do the crackle. And we just want to give it a good covering because this is what you're going to see when it's done.
Somebody from LA, they got stormy weather right now.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I have a friend in Texas who texted me this morning and said it was stormy weather there. So this is basically what you will do first. Give it a good coat. This probably would need a second coat. You see, to cover these areas that aren't coated as well. But that's just to give you an idea of what we're doing. And for those who are just tuning in, this is what we're making. We're repurposing a bottle into Tuscan decor, and today we're going to make this one as well as 2 more. We're going to make a farmhouse style and also a floral design. So if Tuscan isn't your style, you can go with a different kind of style. So after the paint is dry, I have one here that's already dry, we're going to do the crackle medium. Now if you've never seen this, this is what I'm using. I know some people have used Elmer's glue. I've actually tried that before and didn't have as much success as I do with the medium. This is just a clear gel-like, not really a paint, but we're just going to paint it right on. Now this is the stuff. This is what is going to make the project work. And the thing about crackle medium is that you want it fairly thick. You don't want to skimp here because this is what will crackle your top coat. And if you want a nice, good crackle, you want to put this on fairly thick. If you want to look at this one over here that I've already done, You can see how it crackled here, and then over on the back, some wider crackles. That's where I had the medium probably a little bit thicker. Gives it a nice old world look, I think. Crackling has been around for quite a while.
Somewhere from Lebanon, Missouri.
Thank you for tuning in today.
72 and mostly sunny in Michigan.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
Somebody earlier said it was really gloomy in Wisconsin.
Oh, sorry to hear that. But glad you're joining us.
Someone is asking what this is.
This is a repurposed oil bottle. This is a bottle that I get grapeseed oil in, and when they're empty, to me they're just beautiful bottles. And so when they are empty, I had a hard time throwing them away, so I washed them out and saved them. And then one day I decided to decorate them up a bit. And so that right now we're on the second step. The first step is to give it a coat of white chalk paint.
Here's somebody from Houston, Texas.
Welcome from Houston. So we're going to go all the way around this. We're on our second step here, giving it a good coat of crackle medium.
Ask people to share light.
Absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. My cameraman is keeping me straight. I am really thankful for him. If you are enjoying this, we would love for you to share it. And we'd also love for you to like, give us some hearts. We really appreciate that if you're enjoying it. Excuse me?
We've been seeing those.
Oh, yeah. Good. Okay, so this will need to dry. And while it's drying, I'm just going to sit this over here and let it dry. I'm going to go ahead and move on to one that I've already got ready. Now this one has got about 3 coats of the white chalk paint on it, and then it has a coat of the crackle medium. So remember, the crackle medium is what's going to actually make it work. So I'm going to have to get my brush cleaned off here because, excuse me, we're going to change colors.
From San Antonio.
Welcome. Thanks for tuning in from Texas.
Brownwood, Texas.
A lot of folks from Texas today. Hey, you know, since we're using oil bottles, would anybody like to share some of their favorite dishes to use? It's getting near dinner time here, maybe in some other parts of the country. What's some of your favorite dishes using oils? And what is your favorite oil to use? I like to use grapeseed. I use a lot of olive too. But chime in and tell us what your favorite is.
Somebody from Augusta, Georgia.
Thanks for joining in. Okay, what I'm going to use now, New Jersey. We had a lot from New Jersey today, huh? Up in that area. You want to get in on this? This is Teddy Bear Tan.
I can't see it.
Can't see it?
No, it's shadow. Turn it.
Okay. Is it helping?
There you
go. Okie dokie. This is Teddy Bear Tan. This is the color that we're going to use on the Tuscan style. It's in there. Anybody got any good recipes to share using cooking oil? And also, anybody, I want to remind you that there's the giveaway today. Be sure and leave a comment letting us know what you have repurposed oil bottles into. So now we're just going to put this on here. Now at this stage we want to work quickly because it happens kind of quick. It'll start crackling soon.
Somebody from Puerto Rico.
Thanks for joining from Puerto Rico.
In California. It's a little windy, but the sun's out. With the Salia, I guess that's how you pronounce that, California.
Thanks for joining.
I wonder how it can be sunny there but rainy in LA.
Probably different areas. Okay, we're going to get this on there. Haven't quite started crackling yet.
Someone asked, is the paint oil based?
No, this is an acrylic craft paint.
Somebody from Panama City.
Hey, that's not very far from here. We love Panama City. Glad to have you with us today.
Someone said they love the cabinet doors behind you. How about a tutorial on how that's done?
I have no tutorial on that. That was already there when we bought the house, but thank you so much for your compliment. I appreciate it. Can you get that, Micah? Can you see? It's beginning to crackle down here.
Just barely.
Barely crackling. Yeah, it's beginning to start. That's what we're going for. It's a little cool. I've got it kind of cool in here. The warmer it is, it'll crackle quicker. And as it thoroughly dries, we're going to get more crackling.
Someone's asking about the bottom of the jar. Was there nothing done there?
Nope. And these grapeseed oil bottles actually are concave. So, I mean, there's no need to bother with the bottom. You're not going to, you're going to sit it up. You're not going to see it. That's a good question. I do go all the way to the top, however, because that will definitely show. It's going a little slow today. It usually crackles a little faster. It could be because it's cool, but we'll give it some time to crackle.
Someone asked, what did you add before the paint?
Before this paint right here, I guess. Okay, the first thing we did was a coating of white chalk paint. And depending on how deeply colored your bottle is, you may need to put 2 or 3 coats. This one just has 1 because it's a white frosted bottle. And then after that, a coating of, once it's dry, crackle medium. This is what's going to make the top layer of paint crackle.
Someone from Germany asked, let's see, let me find it. They asked, this will work with any color, and would you post the name of the paint you're using?
Absolutely. Let me answer the first question first. I tried this one time with a metallic based paint and it did not crackle. And I think it was on the post that I have up at Hometalk. Someone left in the comments that it was a different post where I was talking about how I was experimenting using Elmer's glue instead of crackle medium, and I talked about how it didn't work for me. And somebody said that they thought that metallic paints will not crackle. So that's all the wisdom I have on that. And then the second, see, we're getting some. Can you see that? We're getting some crackling there.
Speaking of the crackle, somebody asked, do you have to let that dry? Do you have to let the crackle medium dry before applying paint layer?
Absolutely. Yeah, it needs to be dry. And I want to go ahead and answer the second question. This is the, we'll start at the beginning. This is the white chalk paint to start with. And here's the crackle medium. This is what does the work. And for the Tuscan style, we're using Teddy Bear Tan. It's a folk art paint. And I'll show you the other two in just a few minutes that we're going to use. So we're going to have to let this dry. And while it's drying, I'll work on a different one, and then we'll come back and decorate the top. But you can see it's beginning to crackle. It'll crackle right up here around the neck. We're getting some very slight crackling. It'll crackle really nicely as it dries.
Someone asked if you can use spray paint.
I've never tried spray paint. I think spray paint would be a little more difficult to control. And when you put on the second layer, you want a good bit of control. So I don't know. You could probably for the first layer. I don't know. I've never tried that. Now this one actually is still a little bit tacky. This is, for this one, I started out with this color. This is a Deco Art color. It's a really pretty crimson. And I chose this one because the top, it matches the topper I'm going to use. This is going to be the floral design.
Somebody asked, would work better if base paint is acrylic? The crackle medium says safe for acrylic paint.
You can use acrylic if you like. I chose the chalk paint because it's just it's a good flat paint, and that's what I was going for. I'm going to go ahead and skip this one. The crackle medium is still a little tacky on there, so I'm going to jump over to this one. This is going to be, this is going to be our farmhouse style, and for this we are using this paint. It's called Rusted Pipe.
Somebody said no spray paint does not work.
Oh, someone's tried it. Thanks for letting us know.
Someone's asking, is that a brush or a spatula?
Is what now?
Is it a brush or a spatula?
What's that? This?
Yes.
I don't know what that is. This is a sponge brush, a foam brush. I don't know what a spatula is. Okay.
Someone asks for a list of everything you're using here.
Okay. Let's see. Can we get that in the comments maybe afterwards? I can definitely do that. I'll be glad to drop it in the comments after the video. Or you can visit the post that is on Hometalk and see it.
Ask if you don't like the crackle, can you just leave it smooth?
Sure, absolutely. You can leave it smooth. The thing about the crackle is when the top layer begins to crack, you can see that bottom layer color coming through. So you can see the white here, the chalk white. And that's the purpose of the crackle. But if you don't like that, you can definitely leave it smooth.
Someone asked, does it have to be chalk paint?
No, it doesn't have to be.
Can you use regular white paint for the first coat?
Yes, you absolutely can if you want. I just like the good flat finish of a chalk paint.
And does the process work on surfaces other than glass?
I'm sure I haven't tried it, but I'm sure I've actually thought about doing it on wood, maybe a picture frame, but I have not tried it yet. So I can't say for sure, but I imagine it would. So this is going to be our farmhouse style. This color is a little bit similar to the teddy bear tan, but it matches the top. The decor that I'm going to put on the top, it matches it a good bit better.
Someone just tuned in wanting to know what we're doing here.
Oh, thank you. We are making these repurposed Tuscan oil bottles. This was a bottle that contained cooking oil, and I have repurposed it into a piece of Tuscan decor, Tuscan style decor. If you don't like Tuscan style, if farmhouse is more your style, that's what we're working on now. I'm also going to be working on one in a few minutes that will be floral, a floral theme. You can go any way you like with these. The top here, you can see the top, it's just a knob, like a drawer knob. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby. They have a ton of those to choose from. And so when I made the first one, I just went there and found one that I thought looked kind of old world style, and then matched my paint and embellishments to that. And so when I decided to make a couple of other styles, I did the very same thing. I went back to that aisle at Hobby Lobby, found a few knobs that I liked, and then went from there with the paint and the topper around the top. We're gonna do something a little different on those. This is Farmhouse. If you're just joining us, thank you for tuning in. Tell us what you like to cook with cooking oil. These bottles had oil in them, cooking oil. So I'd love for you to tell us, give us some good recipes to try. Can you see it crackling a little bit? This one's beginning to crackle some down here. That's what we're going for. Of course, as it dries, we're going to get a better crackle because it gets completely dry. I've mentioned a few times these were grapeseed oil bottles. Share what kind of oil you like to cook with. I do use olive some too. Grapeseed's really interesting. It has a higher, you can get it hotter before it will smoke. And it has a lot of the same health benefits as olive oil. Not entirely the same, but it's pretty close. And one of the reasons I really enjoy it is it has almost has no flavor. It's very mild. If you're making something that you just don't want that strong olive oil flavor, grapeseed's a good option. Okay.
The spatula?
Mm-hmm.
Spatula.
Spatula. Oh, that's funny. Okay, yeah, I know what a spatula is. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you our Tuscan over here. It's continuing to dry. We're getting some crackling going on down here. Not as much as this one, but it's not totally dry yet. It's still, this is gonna be real pretty right here, I think. We're gonna set these aside, and we're gonna come back to this one. Hopefully it's a little spot there, but it's about ready to go. And I should have brought another paintbrush. Okay, for this one, I'm really excited about this one because that's really kind of loud right now, but we're going to cover this one in the white chalk. This is going to be our floral bottle. I'm good and messy here. Does anybody else make messes when they do their projects? I'm pretty messy. Okay, so we're going to go back with the white and probably do a little bit more of this. Y'all tell me what the weather's like where you are. If you're just tuning in, we talked about weather a little bit earlier. It's really nice here. Nice and sunny. We're having our few weeks of spring. We don't get very much spring here. It just goes straight to summer. It gets hot. That's why it's so wonderful to be close to the beach. Okay. Oh, look at that. It's already breaking through down there. You kind of have to be careful when you're putting this second coat on to not go over too many times because you'll end up peeling off the bottom layer. I've actually done that before. That's how I know. Look at that. That is so pretty. This one is going to be nice.
Someone asks where we are.
We are in Southeast Alabama. You would never have guessed I'm from Alabama, right?
They thought we were from Florida.
Florida, yeah, we're pretty close to Florida. And I want to remind you again, if you tuned in, you weren't here at the beginning, we have a giveaway today. Hometalk is giving away one of their tote bags. To enter for your chance to win, just leave a comment telling us what you've repurposed bottles into. Hometalk will pick a winner, and we'll announce that at the end of the show. So do drop those comments in, and if you are enjoying the show, we'd love for you to give us some likes, some hearts, and do share the video. Okay, wow, look at that. That is so nice down there. We're getting a really nice crackle on this red one. So we're gonna have a white outer color, but then that red is gonna peek through the cracks. Just gorgeous. And if you buy oil in bottles, or like I mentioned before, these over here are wine bottles. You could use any kind of bottle that you have that you think is pretty. Mostly we just throw them away or maybe put them in the recycle bin if you have that in your area. We can't recycle glass here. We can recycle other things, but man, when I first started using this oil, I thought that they were so pretty. I didn't want to just throw them away.
I asked if we primed the bottle first.
Yes, we did. Well, with a paint.
Yeah, well, and if so, with what?
Yeah, the first layer is chalk paint, white chalk paint. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead and get that. I actually put it under this red too. I'll mention that. I started out with a base coat of white because these bottles they're kind of a dark brown color, and you need several coats to get a good coverage.
Someone said that they would really like to know the color of that red.
Okay, it is. Here we go with our spatula again, right? This is alizarin. Is that how you would pronounce that? Alizarin crimson. I love this color. It is by Deco Art, a Deco Art Americana color. I think it's a really pretty color. So we have got our third bottle painted. We're gonna set him aside. Look at all that gorgeous crackling. That is awesome. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is add the decor around the top. So on the Tuscan style, I've wrapped some twine and then put the top on it. So we're gonna start with that one. I think this one it is still working on crackling. We've got a little bit at the bottom and a little around the neck. So let me move a few things around here. I have this, and I'll show you what this is from. This is just some twine. Got it at the craft store. And I'm going to use tacky glue to put it on.
Someone asked, how did you get it to crackle?
Crackle medium. This stuff causes it to crackle. Really good stuff. And we talked a little bit earlier about how some people have used Elmer's glue, diluted Elmer's glue, as a crackle medium. I've tried it. I had reasonable success with it, not as much as with the crackle medium though. So we're gonna, it's in there. We're going to give this a good coating of glue when it comes out. This is dreadful. There we go. All along the neck. If you're just tuning in, we are repurposing oil bottles into decor. The original is a Tuscan style. We're also going to make a farmhouse and a floral. Okay, now that we have...
That same person asked the question about the crackle, asking now if you... Do you add the medium to the paint?
No, you do not add the medium to the paint. It's a second layer. You put the paint on the bottom layer first, the white is what I used. Allow it to dry, and then add the crackle medium.
Someone's asking, does the crackle come in other colors besides white?
I don't think so. It's just clear.
It's clear.
Yeah, it's just a clear medium. So, yeah, it's clear. I wanted to show you the tail, the end here. I kind of pushed it up a little bit. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that it doesn't stick out the bottom. And then I just start wrapping all the way around. And the next round, we'll probably cover it up so you can't see it. And then we'll do the same when we get to the top. Now while we're wrapping, I'm still waiting for some recipes. Does anybody have any good recipes to share using cooking oil? I would love a new recipe. Now you'll see the glue peeking through a little bit. That's okay because it's going to dry clear. I think this twine is just really old style, old world style looking. Does anybody else think that? I thought it worked well. This just gives it a little extra flair instead of just having nothing but a crackled bottle.
Someone posted a comment in French. I believe they're asking if they do tutorials in Italian. No, not French, Italian.
Are there tutorials in Italian?
On Hometalk.
Oh, I would have to let some of the ladies at Hometalk, some of the people at Hometalk address that question.
Someone asked, how long does it take to finish this project?
Well, start to finish, I mean, it takes less than an hour. Your greatest time, Hog, is drying time, allowing the paint to dry between layers. But you know what, the way I roll is I do a little bit and then I go do something else and then come back and work on it later. So it really lends itself well to that. Kind of get that nice and straight so we don't have gaps. We're almost at the top. Now we're not going to go to the very top. I'm going to stop at that little lip.
And someone said that they thought it looked beachy.
Beach? Oh, beachy. Yeah, that would be a fun one, wouldn't it? But you think this one looks beachy?
I believe that's what they're saying.
Okay. That's a good idea. Okay, we are almost at the top now. And
can you do the crackle medium directly onto the glass? And can you wash the bottle after applying this type of paint?
I guess you could put the crackle medium directly on the glass, and then the glass would show through, whatever color your glass is. That would be a good idea. And remind me of the second question, I'm sorry.
It was, can you wash the bottle after applying this paint?
I wouldn't try, I mean, I definitely wouldn't submerge them. And I wouldn't try to, maybe if you have, you know, just a little with a light, a damp rag or something, but no, I wouldn't, they're more for decor. You really wouldn't use them a lot. So with that one, at that point, I want to show you, I want to go ahead and finish this one before we move on to the others. Now, I've already got this assembled. I am really filthy, aren't I? I want to show you different bottles and things have different caps. But the way this one came, I have another one over here. when I bought it, that is glued in. And so I just pulled it off with a little effort. It was glued in, so I pulled it off. And I used a metal skewer to put a hole through the middle of the cork. And then, like I mentioned before, these are drawer knobs. And so they have this little, what do you call it? It's not a screw, but whatever. I'm not big into hardware. Bolt. Okay, thank you. My cameraman knows. So you have your bolt here, and since it's not pointed, you're going to have like a pilot hole. So that metal skewer did a good job of making a pilot hole. And then I'll do one in a minute to show you how it's done.
We got some comments about dishes.
Dishes?
Spaghetti squash and fried green tomatoes is an art.
Oh, fried green tomatoes, yes.
I have
okay, you wanna get up here with this?
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure it's in range. So we're just going to put that back in there and pop it down. It's a pretty tight fit. And there you go. That's a finished bottle, and it's still working on its crackling. Ideally, you would let this finish before you do the embellishment in the top, but we're not going to sit here and watch it dry today. Let's move on to the second one. Do you remember this one? This is our farmhouse. This one is crackling up really nice. I love the look of this. And what I'm going to do for this is, for the top, I'm not going to put on string. I'm going to use this ribbon.
Oh, speaking of the string, someone asked how long the piece of twine was that you used.
I don't know how long it was, but I have this much of it. So before we started, I wrapped it around and measured it. I wrapped it around just to see how much I might need and cut it, but I didn't actually measure it. But you can do that. You can actually leave it attached to this while you're working if you want to. All right, here's the ribbon I'm going to use for farmhouse. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It says $6.99, but you got to shop Hobby Lobby when when things are 50% off. This was 50% off. I'm only using this much, but it'll be useful for other projects. It's wired along the edges, and we are going to use hot glue for this. Fried green tomatoes, well, I have attempted those a few times. They are delicious. And people know how to do them. Okay, my cameraman is having some memories here, I'm afraid. So we're just going to wrap this around. This is really nice because this ribbon is the same width, little bit wider than the neck of the bottle, but it's close enough that we can make it work. So I'm just
asked to share the video and like the video.
Yes, you're welcome to do that too. Please, if you're enjoying the video, like it, give us some hearts, and share it.
Someone says, what paint are you using and in what order?
Okay, if you would like to zoom in on these while I'm working on this top. There is our chalk paint and our crackle. That's the base. This is the base for the floral that we'll do next.
This one over here?
Yes, yeah. And then we use chalk on the top, obviously. Teddy bear tan is what we used for the Tuscan style, and rusted pipe is what we're using for the farmhouse style. So that's a good hold there. And then I'm just going to twist it around and give it another glue on the back.
Someone asked, can you spray the bottle with a clear coat sealant to help protect
Yes, you absolutely can. I'm not going to, I didn't do that today, obviously, because you want to give these a good long time to dry. You would wait until it's nice and dry. So this project might take you, you might set it aside and finish it tomorrow or something. So this will be the back. And you can actually, if I left myself enough room here, we can fold this under so it's a little neater. I'm sorry, am I allowing you to see here? And here we go. And there's that part done. And now I'm good and sticky. Now for the top. I'll show you how to do this on the very last one. I saved the last one to do. But don't you think that looks kind of farmhouse? I thought it did. And I've put it into one of the corks. I'm just going to put it down in there. Now with this one, I don't want it to go quite as far. Oh, it went a little too far. You can push it all the way down if you like, but I like it sticking up a little bit so that you can see some of that. Kind of looks farmhouse-ish to me. Okay, there's that one, and then let's get our last one done. This is the floral.
Someone asked, what do you mean by farmhouse?
You know, the farmhouse style. A lot of white, a lot of country look. It's really a popular style right now. This is what we're gonna put on this floral design. Again, I got this at Hobby Lobby for half price. It's a wired, it has wire running through it, so it makes it really rigid. I like this. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna give it this one's gonna be a little bit more challenging because it has so many spaces in it. And I have a low temp gun, but I also learned a trick from my friend Katie when she did one of her Hometalk live videos to use a plastic fork for hot glue so you don't burn your fingers. I thought that was so smart. This is just really pretty, I think. So we're going to twist this all the way around. I'm not going to put glue all the way around because it's just going to ooze through. And now for the end, I'm going to double this over a little bit so we don't have all those loose edges. And for this part right there, I can just snip that with the scissors later.
Someone's asking, they started late again, asking for the paints.
Okay, you are welcome to just go through the paints again. We're using a white chalk paint. We're using Crackle Medium, using a deep red for this one. We're using a tan, teddy bear tan for the Tuscan style, and then I forget what it's called, a rusted pipe for the farmhouse. Okay, so with this on, all we have left now to do is put the knob on the top. And I'll show you this time how to do it. Now these knobs, let me clean up just a little bit. These knobs come with a washer and a nut on the end so that when you put them in your drawer, you know, you can put that on the other side.
And someone's asking where the last lace, this one, where that came from.
Hobby Lobby. This came from Hobby Lobby. I got it for 50% off. Didn't pay $8 for this. And this one on the farmhouse, $6.99, and got it for 50% off as well. And if you missed this, this is the one we use for Tuscan. It's just some twine. So I mentioned before that I had drilled a pilot hole in here, and so
the same person's asking what the order of the paint used in. The white is the base.
Yes, then the Crackle Medium. This is the exception. This was the base for the one I'm working on now. The white was the base for the farmhouse and the Tuscan, and then we put Crackle, and then the two toppings, and then the white chalk paint is the top coat for the floral.
I mean, you could cover it anywhere you want.
Yeah, you could. The reason I went with red on the bottom of this is because of this. This has that same pretty red, and so I didn't want just red and red. I just want the red peeking through.
And someone says they're boycotting Hobby Lobby.
Someone said what?
They're going to boycott Hobby Lobby.
Boycott Hobby Lobby. I love Hobby Lobby. I really enjoy shopping there. So with this one, and if you are bothered by this, you can get a hacksaw and cut it off. It doesn't bother me at all because it's not gonna, you're not gonna see it. So we're gonna press that down in there. We're about to wrap up. I want to remind you again that Hometalk is giving away a tote bag today. Just leave a comment saying what you have repurposed oil bottles into, or any kind of bottle actually, for your chance to win that bag. And we'll give you a few minutes to do that if you haven't done that yet. And we're going to recap what we did here. We made these Tuscan oil bottles, or Tuscan style bottles, from some oil bottles. This is the one that we had before. And you need to say something?
Where did you get the red flower?
This was a knob from Hobby Lobby, a drawer knob, in the drawer knob section at Hobby Lobby. All three of these were actually. That's where they came from. So this is the original. This is the farmhouse. We used the farmhouse style ribbon and the farmhouse knob. And this is the rusted pipe is our coating on this one. And then the last one is the floral. We used this pretty red as the base, and then the chalk finish is the topping, and then that white silver kind of mesh for the embellishment, and then the rose for the top. So, are there any other questions that we can answer at the end here? I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed it, I hope you'll hit like and that you'll share the video. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button at the bottom so that you can see all the videos that Hometalk posts. There'll be another one coming up at 7 o'clock this evening, so be sure to tune in for that one. Do we have a winner yet on the tote bag?
Susanna Winkler.
Susanna Winkler, congratulations to you, Susanna. Enjoy that Hometalk tote bag. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Karen from ToWorkWithMyHands.com, DIY for the Time Crunched Creative. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.